Hello, good afternoon. It is Friday, the 9th of August. We are talking about Everton versus Roma tomorrow. Everton's final pre-season game. John, Goodison Park, 5 o'clock. Is this... Oh, sorry, no, let me rephrase it. Are you expecting the team that starts tomorrow to be close to Sean Dyche's best, at the moment, what he thinks is his best 11?
Yes.
That will start against Brighton next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
thanks for watching.
If his current thoughts are this, if this was a Premier League game, he'd put his best team out, wouldn't he?
Well, he should
put his best team out. And then he might go, oh, but he's not fit, so I have to put someone else in.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a give everyone some minutes type game. For the first half, at least, he's got to start the game with his best 11 out.
Because last week, you were at Preston last week, he sort of did leave people on to get the set, like Dom, I think, played 70 minutes and things. Like, it wasn't a half-time, like Beto, Diogo.
No, so he was building them towards...
Plays, he's building them up, isn't he? So, because you remember the pre-season game last year against Sporting at Goodison, Jarrad Branthwaite played half a game, I think. Dominic played most of the game. And then when we played against Fulham the first game season, Calvert-Lewin wasn't even on the bench. And Branthwaite was sub. And it was changed again. It was a bit like, hang on, because if you remember, we beat Sporting 1-0. Dom scored a pen. Got interviewed afterwards, said, yeah, I'm fit, I'm ready, I can't wait for the season to kick off. Then he wasn't even on the bench.
Had a reaction, I guess.
And then we got beat. I don't think he did. I think they were just being
ultra cautious.
Really cautious with him, because he was quite frustrated, I believe, that he wasn't on the bench. And we could have done with him, because we ended up losing a game that we should have won comfortably.
Being cautious about him, on the advice of the medics or the scientists or whatever is fine. But with so many subs who don't get a game, he could have just kept a bench warm, couldn't he?
Yeah, because we could have used him with 10 minutes.
Exactly right.
The reason I'm sort of... This isn't about Dom, actually, but I will ask you about Dom again in a minute. But the reason I'm asking is because do we think that if Jarrad Branthwaite isn't available tomorrow, then he won't start against Brighton? Because he's not played a second yet in pre-season. There's more rumours today, isn't it? Because about United coming back in for him. Apparently, John, United are prepared to pay 50 million now for a £75 million player. But exactly.
Is that because the Litz, scratched someone's car?
And apparently, the Litz and a little bit of bother. He has to clear his name first. But that's irrelevant. But in talking about Branthwaite from an injury perspective, we've not seen him for a second yet.
Is he injured?
Well, he's apparently got a groin. He had a groin problem.
Yeah, we know he had that. But
well, I don't know.
Did we get to the bottom of whether he's had the operation or not?
The manager said he'd had an operation, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he said that after...
minor off.
But he said that, I think after Coventry, he come back from it a little bit. He was a bit confused. I know some of the media were a bit confused.
Well, I don't know, but...
Not so much about whether he's had it, but when he had it. Like, did he have it before, or did he have it last week, or whatever? I don't know why a club wouldn't tell people. If he's recovering from a relatively minor operation, but still an operation, and has he not appeared on any of the training videos, or we haven't been doing any lately, or whatever?
Put any out, have they?
That's what I mean.
They've not put any out since.
So you can't hide behind it, because if he's not in the Matchday squad tomorrow, then you have to assume he's not going to play next week, and then you're into a big decision. Do you be really bold and you stick O'Brien in, or do you go with Tark and Michael Keane?
Michael Keane's injured.
Is
he?
Not
playing tomorrow.
Oh, is he? Oh, I don't know. Okay.
Hamstring injury.
Okay, so maybe...
Well, apparently he's not. This is what the manager said.
So tomorrow we'll see Tark and O'Brien then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently the manager said the other day, it was Tuesday, it might have been, that he's a doubt for the weekend with a minor hamstring injury.
Okay.
So Philly says Branthwaite's surgery was last week, but I mean, I don't.
Well, the rumour was The rumour was that it was before the Coventry game. And I think when asked, the manager sort of answered along the lines of, he had the op last summer.
Yeah, well, he was supposed to. When he didn't go with England,
you would think he would go straight and get it done.
He went on holiday, because I think he was penciled in to have it the end of June, I think, or the middle of... When did I get told? 3rd week in June, he was penciled in to have it. So I thought he must have had it, and then we seen him in Ireland and all that, and then the manager said he won't play, he's just got to give him a few more days, and then all of a sudden...
Implying he'd had it.
So maybe he didn't have it, they thought rest would do it, and then he's come back and it's still bothering him, so he's had minor surgery, he's now on the recovery. But why didn't Everton just say, this is where...
So you think if he had the op, just joining the dot, it was after Sligo.
Well, I was told it was going to be before pre-season because it'd be done then.
The bit that worried me was you said he went on holiday. No, have your bloody operation first, then go.
Well, it depends when it's arranged, doesn't it? You might have, whatever. Well, there was just images of him on holiday straight away, wasn't there? So they might have had that arranged anyway. Some players do. They go and get the rest, then they have the off whenever it is. But I don't know, just a bit. I just don't understand why Everton don't just say, yeah, he's had a minor operation, he's out for 2 weeks.
Well, we've done it with Schmitty. Or was that because we knew he was injured?
Well, he tweeted the picture and Everton confirmed it 4 hours later he had an operation. So,
but it was the same photo. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they just used this. It's not an Everton picture, is it? Okay. It's something he's put on Instagram himself. So even that, Everton should have gone, Yusuf Tumiti will undergo minor surgery, because that's all it is.
Or he has had minor surgery.
Well, he's had it the minute he's had it.
Yeah.
Well, he did say that, but it'd already been out.
Okay.
Everyone else had it. So that's what I'm saying. Control that.
Lack of control and narrative, man.
Control it. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know whether Branthwaite's close to being available next week or he isn't, but I imagine if he doesn't play tomorrow, that it's risky, I think. As good as he is, it's risky then throwing him straight in.
It sounds like there's uncertainty that's unnecessary. You know, why wouldn't you just tell people?
Well, I mean, you know, again, if Sean Dyche was sitting here, he'd probably go, we're not uncertain. we know exactly what's happening. We don't have to tell you. Because
listen, organisations can do that, right? They can operate in their bubble.
Yeah.
Okay. They can put a force field around themselves so that, you know, bad news doesn't get in, if you like. Yeah. And you might argue bad news also doesn't get out if you do that properly.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But then don't be surprised if a key stakeholder gets the ump with you, and that's the fan base. You know, I'd love to know. We're making a mountain out of a molehill, I don't know, but I'd love to know why someone thinks let's just not tell anyone.
No, I'm not making a mountain out of a molehill, because if the lad's injured and he can't play, can he? I think what you do is, if everyone's expecting to see Jarrad play,
but they're not, are they?
And then, I don't know.
Well, we haven't seen him so far, so why would we?
Because this is the last opportunity, and a lot of people will go, well, he'll play tomorrow because in their mind they've not been told he isn't fit for Brighton, have they?
That's true.
We were told Schmitty's not fit for Brighton. We know that. We were told there was an issue with the core aid, and he played the other day against Motherwell.
We're being told that Dele's
Seamus was, after Coventry, they were worried about Seamus. He played against Motherwell the other day, so he's. Do you know what I mean?
And Dele's with the first team squad.
We've known that though, haven't we? But
but they've said so.
I'm still surprised that. And listen, he may well have got some minutes the other day against Motherwell. There was no pictures of him.
That's right.
And maybe if he'd have scored.
There's no pictures of anyone, is there? So, yeah.
Well, no, Everton put 4 or 5 up, didn't he? But it was just the goal scorers.
That's what I mean, yeah.
So if Dele would have got 2, he might have had to go. Dele played and got 2. Whatever. He might, for all I know, he might have got 15 minutes at the end of the game, because he was close, apparently, to being involved at Preston.
Who?
Dele.
Oh, right.
So the story goes, but he wasn't.
The same might have applied to Branthwaite.
So what I'm saying is, if Branthwaite is definitely out, because of that, or recovering. And I imagine Sean Dyche will tell us tomorrow after the game, because he'll be asked undoubtedly, Joe Thomas or someone, or will, or us if we're given press access, who knows, would say, what's happening with Jarrad Branthwaite? And then the manager would say, well, he's had whatever, and then we'll get an update. But it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I just think I think a lot of Evertonians I've spoken to are like, well, Branthwaite and Tarkowski will start against Brighton. Like, hang on, he hasn't kicked the ball yet.
Right.
Hasn't kicked the ball in here. So it might be, Everton might look and go, Jab minor surgery. If it was last week, as I think it was Phil said, he thinks he had it last week, the surgery. That would indicate to me they thought it'd settled down, it hasn't, and they've had to have it. So if that's the case, Everton might be planning. The planning horizon for Jarrad Branthwaite may well be the international break. And then he's in, so he misses the first 3 games.
The mere fact that the football club just doesn't communicate with its fan base is I don't get it.
No, I don't get it.
Best practice, even if you were just briefing backdoor stuff. So Baz Cass said today on Toffee TV, as far as he understands, that Jarrad isn't going to be involved this weekend because he's had that operation, which we all knew. And he obviously is a bit tender and he needs to calm down. And, you know, and he's perceived to be a fast healer, but there's no defined, he's ready when he's ready. And then the manager doesn't get questions again and again and again, because he will, won't he?
What would you do if it's, say, Michael Keane is all right?
Yeah.
So he's played most of pre-season anyway. So even if he wasn't available tomorrow, he could well be available Monday. Who will partner Tarkowski for you next week against Brighton? Would it be Keane because he's used to it, he's played, and that, or would you go with Jake O'Brien, who's obviously come in, will play tomorrow, might have a stormer tomorrow?
It's a risk, isn't it? Because youth and not played in this division and so on, and you have all the talent in the world and the high ceiling and all that sort of stuff.
He's 2 years older than Branthwaite. So.
Yeah, I know, and he's been away and stuff like that. I guess I refer the gentleman to what happened previously, which was objectively, we've been here with Branthwaite. He doesn't get a game because of those reasons.
Yeah.
And then when you put him in, and you're perhaps forced to put him in, you suddenly find out actually he is good enough and he never comes out again. So without speaking ill of people, maybe if Keano wasn't quite fit enough to start, that would be helpful because it made the manager's job easier, right? But let's be honest, mate, he'll go with Tarkowski Keane, won't he?
I'd imagine so.
Yeah,
I'd imagine. Unless Jake O'Brien has another good game tomorrow. And
that's what I mean.
And then you look and go, well, you know what? He's played the last few games. He's done really well. He's a big unit, so he's not going to be, he's not like he's going to be weak or whatever. But
he may, because the manager has to balance the team as well, doesn't he? So if he thinks he's potentially going to end up with inexperience, say in midfield somewhere or whatever, then perhaps he wants the experience in the back line. Can't have both, can you?
We'll see.
But we know the manager. Yeah, he will go with what he knows.
You think Keane will play? Obviously. Yeah. Okay. Fair play.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Don't you?
I don't know, because Keane's been told he can leave. So
but they let them, not let him rot in the reserve because he's not the one pushing for the leaving. But he can leave. And so if the manager works to a logic, which is I'm not going to become reliant upon players who either don't want to be here or I don't want them, I being the club, don't want them to be here, I will use them sparingly. Last resort type use. So if you say that my preference is not to start Michael Keane because there's no certainty he'll be here in a couple of weeks' time, then you just have, if you're going to risk, in quotes, finding out what O'Brien's really like, then you start him tomorrow. So there you go. I expect him to start him.
I think he will.
There's no value in him starting Keane because he knows Keane.
O'Brien will play tomorrow because...
No, I mean start, though, not just have
No, I think he'll start because for the simple reason that if Keane is feeling it slightly, what's the point in throwing him in tomorrow?
That's right, because you might need him against Brighton,
So I think O'Brien...
And then it's down to O'Brien then just to look...
Got to go and do the job.
Like Branthwaite did, 1-2 on in the team, it was like he'd been there forever.
I'm staying in,
and then you dare him then to not play him.
I wonder if Dele will be in the squad. The fact that they've put it out today, that to me seems to indicate he'll be.
He's going to get minutes, isn't he?
So therefore, he should get some minutes.
I think a lot of it might stand and fall on what Tark thinks. I mean, you can't go to Tarkowski and say, "Do you want Keane or do you want O'Brien?"
Oh, back on the centre back.
But you can say, "How do you feel about it?" Because he's the one who's closest to him on the pitch, isn't he? He's the one who knows what he is and isn't doing. He knows how much he has to instruct. He knows if he tells O'Brien to do something, whether he listens or not. And we know in all those cases, Branthwaite got a tick, 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 tick,
But
tick.
the other thing, but last season, Keane was taken out and Branthwaite was put in, whether Tarkowski wanted him or not.
No, but I'm talking about...
But I think the same. Jake O'Brien, in my mind, and this might be... This doesn't mean it's right, it's just how I view it, has been brought in to be Jarrad Branthwaite's long-term replacement.
Yeah, so you've got to start as you mean.
And therefore, the chances are he'll end up with Tarkowski anyway. Next year, Branthwaite for me won't leave this summer unless United pay silly money.
About 51-ish or something.
70 million. Every week that goes by, Everton should be going to another 3. Now it's 78. Could have got him for 70. Now, and if it's next week, it's 81, and if it's the week after, it's 100. But to you, hey, you can have them, but that's how much it is, because that's where we are now.
We don't need money in the bank. We need players on the pitch.
I mean, we do need some money in the bank because we need the next raft of players that the manager wants. Another 3 he wants in the door. Can we get them? We'll see.
We don't.
I get it. No point getting it on.
Get 80 million on the last
on
day
the 30th. It's irrelevant, isn't it?
But
so Dele, let's move on from that.
Are you going to do, or has someone done it? What do you think the team's going to be? We're not bothering for a friendly?
No. No, we're not doing it. The starting 11 for Roma now. Dele, I'm quite ambivalent with Dele. Some people are fuming over it. I don't get the fume.
No.
I think if you trust this manager, and a lot of people do, then trust this decision on whether Dele gets a contract or not.
There's nothing in Dyche's DNA that suggests he's a soft touch for rehabilitating a player. Right?
Absolutely.
So, but I suspect he is a straight talking, and you can be very sympathetic when you do that. Who can make it very clear to a player, what do you want? I want to play for. Oh, good, that's the right answer. Well, to play for me, here's the targets.
Yeah.
And the target for Dele would all be about, wouldn't they, physical availability. Because the mental stuff, you can pretend. Until he's on a pitch, you won't know if the mental stuff's all right, will you? But if he's physically fit and he's doing all his gaffer tests or whatever they're called.
Gaffer days.
Yeah, and he passes all those. You say, well, there he is. And look at him. He'll look dead healthy because they all bloody do, right? Good physical specimen. We know he's got all this experience. Clearly the talent's in there. Can he mentally get it out? Well, let's give him a chance then. In a safe environment. Maybe, let's hope the safe environment to start with was Motherwell.
Yeah, I mean,
a competitive game without the eyes on you. And is he ready for the eyes now? Question for you.
Yeah, go on.
If you were going to give Dele half an hour, say, or whatever, would it be the first half hour or the last half hour?
It'd be the last half hour. Because they'll never play. They'll never take someone off in the first half of any game, will they?
Okay, 45.
But 45. That depends what his body's like. But I'd probably give him the last half an hour when maybe they're a little bit tired.
Yeah.
And he can come on, and it's just a soft.
When the game might be set, whichever way it's gone.
Yeah, and just get involved.
Reduce the stress. You get a lot of.
And I'm not, again, like I say, my sort of view with Dele is, I've said it all along. I've been consistent with this. If you can get him to 60% of what he was, he's more than good enough to play for Everton Football Club.
I just think
right now, right? But if he doesn't ever get, I trust the manager with that.
Yeah.
If he. Just like you've just said, Sean, it's changed now, the parameters with this. It's changed from when he come in. It's changed because he's never been available.
That's right.
He's a trialist at the moment.
Yes.
So good luck to him. He's got his head down. He's worked hard.
He's done all the physical stuff, yeah.
He won't get a contract comparable to what he was on.
No.
That's a fact. He won't get that anyway. If he ticks the boxes fitness-wise, like you just said, for Sean Dyche and Won't Steve Stone, the medical team, if they look and go, we have to weigh everything up, which they do before we give this lad a contract. And this, for all we know, and if I'm Dele, I'm taking it. If Everton said, I don't know how you do it, but if Everton said it's X, basic.
Something very modest.
But when you play, we'll bump it to this, so you're available to play and all that. Then I think that's a good deal for everybody. Because he's only going to play when the manager thinks he's available to play. Now, if he is training and the managers will look at him and they look and go, he's not quite there, then he goes. There's no risk. But if you're trusting a manager and going, Sean Dyche is great for Everton Football Club, then you've got to go with what Sean Dyche believes with this player, haven't you? You can't sort of back.
This is a decision only the manager can make.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You can't back the manager and go, he's the right man for the right, and then have a go with his decisions, because that's contradictory. You'd either go all in on him and go, he's a good manager, he's what we need right now. So if he's what we need right now, then we have to trust him to make a decision.
Dele's
if Dele gets a contract, it's because he's proved himself. Yeah. If he doesn't, good luck.
Dele's objective is to give the manager selection problems.
Absolutely.
Because all the other stuff, contracts, money, whatever, they all flow from that. If this manager thinks he has to play you, or he has to put you on the bench because you're better than what he's, even if it's players we've just bought. You know, you talk about this manager, he bases lots of his decision what he sees in training, for example. Yeah. Pep Guardiola clearly does that, doesn't he?
That's all he does.
Yeah. If you're not doing the hard yards, then in training, why do I think you would do them on the pitch? You know, and maybe there were George Bests out there who would do just that, but those days are long time ago, aren't they? So, and if he's got under the skin of the manager intellectually and stuff like that, that gets him airtime, that gets him opportunity. But in my experience, when I've done that with people where you like people, you want them to succeed, it doesn't stop you bulleting them, though, if they're not up to it.
Well,
it just might determine how you say no.
Anton Townsend Everton would have kept, had the finances been different. Everton would have given him the opportunity to earn another contract. Sure. They didn't because the way it was. He'd have kept Conor Cody as well, of course, wouldn't he? But they didn't have the money. They had to cut the cloth. Cut it as well. Townsend went to Burnley and trained with Burnley. Yeah. And they didn't offer him a contract. That's right. He played him in a few games. He trained with them. They didn't give him a contract because at that moment they must have thought he's not up to where we need. I mean, they could have done with him massively later on. Luton give him the short-term contract. He proved his worth to them and he ended up playing, a good role for them. Now, I'm not sure if he might have, I can't remember if he stayed at Luton or not, but he done all right for them. Got a couple of goals.
Was used.
And was used, wasn't he, as an option? He proved himself with that, and that's where Dele is. Dele doesn't get anywhere here. Maybe someone else will take a risk on him, I don't know, but he'll only be involved with Everton if he proves himself fitness-wise. So I'm cool with it. If he becomes, if he signs a new contract with Everton, then he's proved to the manager and the fitness team and everything, he's at the level ready to help. And it's up to him then, like you said, extracting that football. The football ability will still be in there.
Of course it is.
The leg's still in there? Don't know. You can look at it two ways. You can go, he threw his hand in a few years ago because he's never been at the level he was. Or you can go, well, he's not played much football recently, so therefore, as a footballer, his legs, he's still got it.
His legs are younger than his age at the moment.
And because he's not played and been injured, he might have ignited that fire again where you can grab something out of him. Who knows? If he isn't and he goes, good luck to him. I'm all right with it. I just go, the manager will make
He comes on tomorrow with half an hour to go. He'll feel the love from the fan base as well.
Well, that's it. People will want
whatever you say about people saying he should be off and all that.
People will want him to do well.
They will want him to do well.
Because we all want good players. And if like I said before, he won't ever be Dele flicking it over his head and volleying it in again. I don't think he'll never be the Dele that was 5 years ago. Of course he won't be, where people were saying one of the best in that position. But again, if you got him to 60-70% of what he was, and that's still a 30% drop-off's a lot, but he would still be good enough to play in Everton's team right now.
How old is he again? 28?
28.
Okay.
So listen, again, the manager will make the decision.
So
we move on.
He's never going to be the pre-prime Dele. Because he can't be.
No.
Different team, different game almost by now.
It is now, isn't it? Moved on.
But what's in there is that, talent that was there before, and the experiences in there. The experiences he's had, they haven't killed him, so they've made him stronger.
Yeah, exactly.
So. And as you say, if that turns into almost a player who doesn't necessarily start, but when you want something to happen, he's a proper
and he actually contributes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's a proper squad player. Basically, what you just Andros, he comes on and makes a difference and contributes. Then that's well worth it.
And especially where we are right now as well, we haven't got tons of money right now to be able to go and rebuild the team, and you'd have to cut your cloth maybe accordingly, and we'll see.
And when he's on the pitch, there would be players, if he is playing for us, in competitive games, they won't be thinking, oh, that's only 60 to 70% Dele. They'll think that's Dele. you carry that reputation often way beyond when you can do it.
Good players are good players.
Full stop.
And again, we don't know if we can last the physical demands. Who knows? I don't know. But
that's what these gaffery things.
That's what they're there for. That's not our thing. All we have to do is go, right, we back him. If he signs, he's our player. We back him.
All that tech, and all you have to do is run him up and down sand dunes. You know that, don't you?
Fair play.
First to puke loses.
Yeah, exactly. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, still underside. I just wanted to ask you something.
There's a similar thing there, not about uncertainty. I mean, is he truly over those injuries? Is he ever going to be the Dom that was what he was just before he got injured, which was an England international? Carlo had got him sorted. He's scoring goals, and then he has a couple of truly bad years with even either side of those bad ones, some difficult ones. So it's almost like the real Dom's not been there for a while, has it?
See, you had the good, you had the physically, as in he played a lot of games.
He's still coming back, isn't he?
He was better last season.
And I'm thinking really from a perspective of how other clubs might think about him.
But what I wanted to ask you about him, without going back over it, is there a world where his agents chats with clubs and therefore they've said we are going to come for him, but this is the game we're playing?
Yeah, of course.
Late on, and that's why we're getting sort of nowhere with it right now, other than we have to play him because Sean Dyche thinks he's the number one, and clearly he is as the striker. And that might be part of the reason.
If you are running a sales campaign, which for the agent is selling Dominic Calvert-Lewin to somewhere else where I can earn commission, right? And you think you've got a potential buyer, and they don't want to, they want to optimize it for them. If you've made that decision as the agent and the player that you definitely want to leave where you are, and I think the most acute version of that would be you don't care what the old club think of you as long as you've gone. You know, and that's where you get a Barkley getting people whispering in his ear and all that sort of stuff. Then you would work with your preferred destination to make it best for your new employer, not the best for your old employer, wouldn't you? So if you use a Newcastle as an example, that says we'll come at the last knock-ins because we think we'll get him 5 mil cheaper or whatever, and that makes it work for us. But what I always used to do back in the day when I was trying to shape deals is if you ever got that vibe, you confront that constraint and say, let's not waste the next 3 months dancing around the handbags so that you get my player for 20 million quid. Shall I just go and say to his current club, if you drop to 20, he'd be gone in a week? Because there's value in that for Everton, right? And if Everton think this guy's checked out anyway, then they can go to the agent and say, listen, we had this chat yesterday, so let's not go over it again. But there's a deadline there. Up to that point, it's 20 million quid. Up to that point, it's 25 million quid. Past that point, he's staying. And then you get Dom and the agent working to get Dom what he wants, rather than this, I've got a bird in the hand, the problem's with Everton, right? And that's what I always used to do as a negotiator, try and make the problem on the other side. You know, particularly if it's time. I want time to be my friend and your enemy. Right, so we should be doing that. Dance1211
on the super chat. Thank you very much.
Super chat, are they still a thing?
Says not enough of them, John, but they are. Afternoon, fellas. My dad and I are going to the game tomorrow, and I've got a 40-day Italian streak on Duolingo. I feel like tomorrow it'll be important. That is an impressive streak. Keep it going. Keep it going. Enjoy the game. You and your dad. Should be a good game.
Where are they sitting?
Don't know. Didn't tell me.
People are watching. Are you sitting somewhere else just because it's last season and you get round the ground? Because I'm not in my season ticket. I'm in the Upper Bullens tomorrow.
Yeah. Very nice.
Not far from you, probably.
Okay. I'm not in my season ticket seat, but I'm still in the same area. I think we're on row C, I think, tomorrow, me and Zach. About 10, 15 seats away from where I know.
I asked for front row anywhere and ended up in the Upper Bullens.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Different game from the side.
Andy Cunningham. No, it is. It's well better. Andy Cunningham says the club have put out a YouTube video about the players visiting Bramley Moor Dock, which has no footage of the players visiting Bramley Moor Dock.
No, it's just Sean, isn't it?
Not even Ned would do that. I was thinking
that's harsh on Ned, I think.
Yeah, I was looking at that thinking, why didn't you just put the manager visits or Sean Dyche on Everton New Stadium, because it's the interviews with him. In the still, you do see them in the dressing room. You see, like, the thumbnail. You see Tarkovsky and people looking at it and all that. But the interview's just with.
There's a disconnect between who edited the video
and who done the title
and who done the stuff. But sub editors are always like that. That's why you get clickbait, isn't it? Poor journalist gets battered because of the headline and he doesn't write it. So it's like
Danny Ellis. That's totally, in my opinion, incorrect, mate. That nothing will happen on the takeover till 777's court cases. That's done. I just don't see that at all, mate, honestly.
There's
stuff going on right now. I honestly do not see that to be the case.
That's an excuse for those who they don't want it to happen enough. Potential buyers, I mean. If it really matters, you'll make it happen, and that wouldn't get in the way. And I think even the bloggers who thought it would get in the way now say it wouldn't. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's clearly part of the risk judgment.
Oh, of course it is.
But it's never a nothing can happen because, and never was that. Yeah.
There was a little murmuring yesterday.
A murmuring?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because we don't know, do we? We don't know, but
about what?
That the freaking group is still very interested.
I think it's dead.
Do you?
Yeah.
I was just going to ask you about it because I don't know.
Never say never. Someone asked me.
They left it 2 months, and when I went back over and looked at the Roma stuff, it was said there was no way they would return to Roma. Done. They've moved on, and then they bought it 3 weeks later. So who knows? They still have got 200 million in.
Remember what I said?
It won't be.
When we've chatted about this, whether you're dealing with it one-to-one with players or in a big negotiation or whatever, the trick is to convince everybody
that you've walked away,
that you really have walked away, and therefore the little bit of interest for me is if they've got history. All the the impulsiveness of how Friedkin himself might bought Roma and so on, then it's great because it makes that narrative now. It doesn't work for us.
Yeah.
The unspoken bit is in its current form.
Yeah. No, you're right.
I don't think it's 777 or anything that's made them walk away either. I think they want a cap to take a haircut on the 200 mil sort of thing.
Yeah, if that's been the problem.
And that just means if someone finds the difference, whether it's Farhad or somebody else, then
it could happen.
It could happen, yeah.
I mean, where we're led to believe is that.
But if you just assume, it's better for your anxiety levels just to assume.
Well, I was going to say the things that we're hearing is that the takeover is moving forward. It isn't with the Friedkin group. Now, whether that makes them, if it gets to a certain extent, certain way down the line, whether that makes them come back, who knows? If not, then you move with whoever you move with.
Well, if you're the seller and someone you thought you were going to get over the line didn't, said, we've had a look, we changed our mind, see you, bye, right? And they're playing a game, negotiating game. How do you react to that with your negotiating game? Is to find somebody else? Right?
Yeah.
That's how you test it.
That's how you test it, yeah.
So there's no point sitting on your hands, hoping, just waiting for Nonto to sign, yeah? You have to get on with your business as usual.
Of course you do, yeah.
And if you follow through with that completely and sell to somebody else, then look what you could have had.
Yeah, it's your own fault, you've had it, yeah. Let's hammer Roma tomorrow and get the crowd going and make him think. Actually, because they flew Toffee out to Roma, didn't he, on their private plane to get that deal done yesterday. So
it would,
I don't know whether he was flying it. I mean, he might have been.
It would be courteous to very well-respected European football royalty almost if the president of both companies were in the building at the same time.
It's not going to happen, is it, mate?
No.
He's not going to be a Goodison, is he?
No,
Friedkin come to Goodison.
But he's the president.
What, just batter you? 4-0 with Jake O'Brien.
Hear that atmosphere.
Hear the atmosphere. Jake O'Brien hat-trick and a Dele Alli.
I was so impressed I bought the company.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I don't think Everton will win 4-0. Who knows, though? You never know. Where are we here?
Have you done all your research on Roma, how their pre-season's gone? No. So they could be way off fitness. And
they're playing Barnsley. They played Barnsley yesterday, I think. Yesterday or today. They're playing Barnsley, yeah. Jesse says it's not on Dele. It's not a decision just for the manager. Thelwell should have a second think about his previous mistake. Every signing must be approved by Thelwell. What's his previous mistake? Dele. Because he wasn't here when we got Dele. He come the month after. Dele will only get a contract if everybody is in agreement, and that's Kevin Thelwell as well. Sean Dyche's job is to convince Kevin Thelwell that he's worth the investment. Kevin Thelwell, decision would be,
oh, you're going to play him.
But are you going to play him? And to convince Dele to take a huge pay cut. That's his job, isn't it? But we'll see again. I think someone said before it's not our decision anyway. We're not in the negotiations.
Who's we? Sorry,
fans, are we? So,
sorry.
You know when people get a cop on with it.
I see. Right,
okay. It's a disgrace. It's blah blah blah. You back the lad. If the manager, if you are backing Sean Dyche, then there shouldn't be any reason why you wouldn't back Dele, because the manager will be key in this decision with the fitness people and with Kevin Thelwell.
Well, one assumes his contract finished at the end of June, didn't it, Dele's?
It finished, yeah.
Yeah. So the whole of July and so far into August, he's been working for nothing. I don't know what's the disgrace then.
No, I'm saying when people do,
I know. But what is
the
the disgrace that people are getting fumed about? That we might give him a deal.
That he gets another deal.
But we're only going to give a deal if he convinces the manager.
That's it. That's where I am with it. I just go, if he convinces the club to give him another contract,
done him.
He must be fit, which is good.
Yeah.
So then he becomes a squad player. Would I rather have Dele with that ability on the bench than a 17-year-old lad who's never going to be an option on the bench? Then yeah, I'd rather have Dele because of that. Moving forward, I'd love to have 18, 19-year-olds who have got that ability you can put in. But right now, we're Everton now. We're worried about a lack of depth, aren't we? We're talking. So if he convinces the club to do the business and put him on, then and give him a new contract.
And then every cost-effective...
If not, then good luck shaking Barry and go
every
off you
cost-effective player, which you might say he would be a cost-effective player, if you look at talent and ability to make a difference and how much you're paying for it, who's deep in experience, which clearly is, allows you to take a bit more risk on those younger ones. Because you've got
others.
Just mixing with him will make younger players better. Don't make the mistakes I made, if nothing else.
Dyche hates wingers. As said, he thinks it'll be Virginia in goal. I think Pickford will play.
I do.
I think he's trained all week, so I think Jordan will play, but it might be half a game. Who knows? Yeah. But you've gone Virginia in goal, Michalenko. Yeah. Right back, Ashley Young. I think Seamus might play, but you might be right. Could
Seamus
be Young.
played the other day.
Yeah. Michael Keane and Jake O'Brien, centre backs.
Ooh. That's an interesting
No, I think don't know. You could be right. This is just your team. So hang on. You've gone. So left midfield, McNeil. Right midfield, Harrison, Irabunum and Adrissa Gay, Decore and Beto. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's not too far from what you'd pick.
I think it'll be Pickford in goal, Coleman at right back, Michalenko left back, Tarkovsky, O'Brien centre backs, Guy, Irabunum, Decore in midfield, Harrison, McNeil and Dom.
Yeah.
That's what I think will start. That what I think will start the game tomorrow.
What team would you pick though? If it were you picking?
I would play. I'd probably try Lindstrom off the striker. And
who would the striker be?
And after, I'd start with Beto.
Yeah, you had to say that, didn't you, really?
But that's just because I give them both 45 minutes in case we get a bid in.
But you still got the psychology of who you start with, haven't you? And I think
but it will be Dom because he's made it quite clear. Dom's.
No, I know. That's why there's a gap between what he does and what you do. You would do, and that almost spins all the way back to Dele again. He will want to play his best centre forward, regardless of the contractual situation. And the same man will not give a free contract to a player who he doesn't think is good enough, right?
Absolutely.
So I think you're probably right. Yeah. Interesting. I don't know where the Keane O'Brien bit come from though.
I don't
that's
know.
An interesting one.
Corin says hello, lad. Still think the squad is weak. Left back, left wing, right midfield, and striker, and the team still lacks pace and power. I think we need another winger. We need a fast winger. We do. And it's a right-sided fast winger.
That's a new ask. When did you come up with that?
We probably do need a centre forward because of the uncertainty.
Yeah.
But if Dom agrees a new deal, then they'll leave that. Obviously, they will. Yeah, I've said, a left back. If we'd have had real cash, we would have had Rodriguez in now. Would have improved us big time. I think, even in just the short term.
He brought some pace, wasn't he?
Great left foot.
Yeah.
Great left foot.
What about Luca Dean? Is he going?
Luca Dean's apparently available. Go and get him.
Yeah.
Go and get him. But see, I want. Mir Richardson hasn't gone yet, but if the deal's sort of agreed, I'd go and gazump them and have him. But that might
put a disruptive bid in.
Just go and put a bid in equal it and go wheel.
Because it's only like 10 mil or something.
10 mil.
Yeah.
Nothing. But in fact, it's €10 million.
Yeah.
So it's not buttons, it is.
You will find it.
If
it really matters, you'll find it.
But Everton aren't going to do that because I think the manager wants Calvin Phillips.
Does he?
On loan. So we'll see what happens there.
Not blessed with pace, is he?
But he'll just sit, won't he? He'll sit in front of the back. Two centre backs and spray the ball, won't he? But we'll see. But we are, a left back would be for me. We definitely need a right winger with pace. We've said that all along, haven't we?
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. I think there's more business to be done.
Definitely.
And Everton are trying to get some out as well. So, and as we move towards the window shutting, we will see movements in and out, I think.
Yeah. Other clubs will find needs as well.
Yeah, but they start panicking and that.
Yeah.
Bob the Blue says if Gordon moves to the RS, which he won't be, I don't think now, or Richarlison leaves Spurs, do we get a sell-on fee? Well, apparently we do get a sell-on fee with Anthony Gordon. I'm not sure with Richarlison, to be honest with you.
I doubt it on the Richie one.
Kevin Milner says, hi guys, travelling down from Newcastle tomorrow for the match. Where's the best place to park? St Domingos of Priory Road. Probably to... If you get here early enough, probably Stanley Park. That big car park really is the only sort of one.
Well, the one behind the park end, Bullens Road, that car park. You have to pay.
That's 15 quid.
Yeah, it's 15 quid.
What on all avenues free? Just go along there outside the park.
Gotta get there early.
Yeah,
though,
parking on the street for free.
Yeah, getting there early.
You got a bit more local
early,
knowledge.
Yeah.
But if he gets there...
But the Bullens Road cat, that like the one on the front, that one you've got to get in early as well. Because that used to be, I did park there. In fact, I went to park there last season for the Sporting game. Probably did.
They just kept ramping the price.
I probably did, but I went, because it used to be a 10 and last year it was 15.
Yeah.
And on one of the match days last year,
it was 20.
I went to get him, we couldn't get in. You had to be a season ticket holder.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never had that conversation.
Occasionally, I had parked there.
Oh.
Not the year before, the start of the year before I could get in. And I pulled in last year and he went, season ticket holder. And I went, yeah. And he went, no, for the car park. And I was like, no.
So maybe they must have had all the pay on the door ones.
Just went
but that won't apply tomorrow, I wouldn't have thought.
No.
But anyway, there's a few places, Just dump it on the road where you can park and walk,
Kieran says Roma's results.
Oh, good man.
Okay, so Toulouse, Kosice, 1 Roma 1. Olympiacos, 0 Roma 1. No, sorry, hang on. Right, I don't know. Basically, it looks like they've drawn 1-1 with Olympiacos. Okay, so they got beat by Toulouse, Koche, whoever they are, early on. Then they drew Olympiacos. They beat Barnsley 4-0. Expect them.
So they've had their Preston
game.
game.
They've won.
They've had their Preston game. Quite an easy one.
Yeah. So there you go.
Okay, cool.
Be interesting. Very interesting. Deitch says McNeil and Harrison play as wing backs for us. In that team, but you had a right back and a left back, so you haven't 6 defenders. Because I would have got it if he'd have played 3 centre backs, I'd have understood it. But you had Ashley Young at right back and Michalenko left back, then 2 centre backs, then 2 wing backs. Deitch isn't that defensive, I don't think. Not on paper anyway.
Not on the pre-season.
For Tuesday, Roma played. They beat Barnsley 4-0 on Tuesday.
Okay.
Thank you for that, Kieran.
Good man.
Poor TV says Baz missed you on the overlap. Yeah, swerved it. They don't give Everton any airtime, so bin them. Mopai on the left.
That also goes, you don't do stuff for free.
Do stuff when they don't ask you, when you ask you the question and they don't listen to you.
Is that what they did?
Them the answer.
Yeah.
Well, they just kept peddling the narrative
did
that
they?
We were going out of business.
You got fed up schooling them, yeah.
Well, because Ornstein gave them duff information. So we'll see. It's £20, John said now for the Bullens car park.
I said 20.
He said 20.
Yeah.
Which is scandalous.
It is.
Really, absolutely scandalous, isn't it? Ken goes in the Vernon Sankster, which is the Stanley Park one, isn't it?
Yeah, the biggest.
Yeah.
And if you're there a few hours before kick-off, you'd definitely get in there, wouldn't you?
Yeah. RC, 100% going tomorrow. Can't wait. I can't wait. Well, I can't wait, but yes, I'm going.
He's no idea where his ticket is.
I know. You know what? I just said to John, did we get tickets sent out? We got it on my phone because last year, I'm just thinking the Sporting game last year, I had physical tickets.
Do a paper, the digital
The paper
now.
tickets, but the digital ones.
If I had my phone, I could show you.
Better.
Because it's got too much red on it. It's not red, it's maroon. Whatever the colour is Roma playing, but when you look at the digital ticket, the thing that jumps out at you is their badge rather than. But that's the psychology stuff of playing in all red. It's a powerful thing for behavioural stuff, isn't it? So
the win.
Yeah.
Ed Aarons is reporting that John Textor has bid for Everton
again.
Well, he started it, didn't he?
Yeah,
Don't forget, he started the whole thing, and what he said was,
It'll be done before I'm ready.
Before I'm able to do it.
Yeah.
But now apparently he's able to do it, isn't he?
Is he?
Well,
so they think he's sorted Palace, do they?
So the story goes, because don't forget, the report the other week was he bought Brentford, if you remember.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, that wasn't what I was told.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So apparently he hasn't bought Brentford. So
and when we've chatted and tried to find stuff out, we just get the positive vibe stuff, and no one will qualify names and things. common sense would be that those who are really interested before, who you passed over for Freaking, unless they've got the ump about it, they're still there, aren't they?
The thing with tech, and listen again, who knows, right? Who knows? But the thing I liked when Texter came out was not all the other stuff I don't know, right? But I liked the fact that he said something that nobody else has said, which is, this is an unbelievable club.
And I want to make it great
and I
again.
want to make it. How amazing would it be to put this club back where it belongs?
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I'm probably like a romantic there. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear.
It's a great
We'll
asset.
never get 1 million followers.
No.
Or it'll take 15 years to put Everton in Europe when Villa have done it in 3 or 2. And Newcastle done it in a year. There's no way Everton could ever win a cup. I want to hear that. I want to hear
lots of them from you.
Now, with this current board, with this current set of people, I'm talking about new owner.
Okay.
If I went in, John, the whole culture would change in a football club. Because honestly, a lot of them would be gone out the door. Be gone. Because it'd be, stay in this room if you believe we can win the league. Because that's what we'd be going for.
No, the biggest block that people have in and around, it's fundamentally, it's organisational. It's business change, right? It's changing cultures, you're doing all those sorts of things. Is when you say what you want to do, right? I want us to win the Premier League. And then you hear all the noise. That's never going to happen. Instead of, I want us to win the Premier League. Do you agree? Baz?
100%.
Right? So
100%.
Then we go, when? And then we go, how? And if the how bit is, well, we need £1 billion in transfer money, you go, I haven't got that. So now we have to change.
How do we make it?
We have to change the when a bit whilst we're trying to make.
But I would be saying.
But people stop at the what thing. They really do.
What I would say is, Simon, there is people buying his shares in Crystal Palace. That's how people were reporting he was buying Brentford. Apparently that's all done. I don't know whether he will buy Everton.
Brentford
or whoever else, right? All I am saying is, apparently, this was reported 2 weeks ago, his deal is underway to sell his shares.
He's
in
an
Palace.
actor and he's still on stage. Right,
so I don't know what.
That's great news, if only as a stalking horse for others. Yeah.
Well, exactly. But mine would be, so it'll be £1 billion that we have to spend in 5 years to win the league. Right? How do we get the £1 billion?
Exactly.
Off
right.
we go.
And that's what you do.
Everything you get, your recruitment team, you now start getting those marginal gains. If it means making the lads sleep for 9 hours on a Friday night for a game instead of 8, because the marginal gains are your performance is enhanced by 12% if you get the extra hours sleep. 12% is huge. We can make it 12% there. We can make 2% here. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. If we start doing that and we get a group of people going, we are going to do it. We are going to be successful. Leicester have won it. Liverpool went from nowhere to win it. Newcastle have got it. Villa have just jumped into the Championship. Blah, de, blah, de, blah, de, blah. Doesn't matter who they are. How do we get there? For too long in our football club, it's too hard. Yeah. We're all a cozy family. That's never going to happen. That won't happen. It's impossible. Now, it might be impossible. Nothing's impossible, but it might be really difficult to make Everton win the Premier League. It might be.
If it was easy, mate,
but why don't we go and do it?
If it was easy, mate, anyone
could do it. But you chase it, don't you?
Of course you do.
So there's two people. You either believe you can do it, or you just go, we'll never do it. We'll get rid of all the ones who will never do it. Off you go. Close the door on your way out, because you've took salary off us for years. And you're not good enough. Close the door on your way out. And everyone else who stays goes the extra mile. You come in a bit earlier, you work a bit harder. Because our whole aim is to be up there. The recruitment team, throw away everything that links you to an ex-Wolves player because it's easy, or a Premier League player because it's easy, and start looking outside of this country. And Mia Richards and €10 million, get him in the building tonight. Get him in the building tonight. Get Konati in the building tonight. Get him in. Get Tatsuma in the building. Get them all in. Because all of them three will make us 100 million in 3 years. Whatever it may be. And you start building like that.
Set your criteria.
And go after it. That's what I want.
And then give the recruitment team the freedom to go and get satisfy the criteria from wherever they can. Because you don't have to know your budget if your mission is to get satisfy the criteria
Yeah.
at the lowest possible cost. Straight away, you know which leagues to go looking in. We know people who run businesses who do just that. Yeah. So theology, it's not secret. It's the ability, and I'm not going to do the diving thing.
No.
It's the ability to follow through and actually be diligent enough to say, when we said we wanted a 6'3", blah blah blah, at this age, with these experiences, we can get for this amount of wages and this amount of transfer fee, and you produce Barry Cass. I can't say, well, he's not played in the Premier League, whatever. And if you do want that to be your criteria, you weight it and say, and if the primary weighting is you must have Premier League experience, we are fucked, right? Because we haven't got the money. Because you then say, well, that £1 billion budget is now 2 billion simply because you want a high criteria weighting to be in favour of Premier League experience. And yet you've got managers who have done well in this league saying, I don't care where they come from. They're all footballers. Yeah. If he's fast, he's fast. If he's got good ball control, he's got good ball control. If he can jump really, really high and head a ball, he can do that. Because how often do we talk about physical battles? Win your own battles, Baz.
Chelsea have apparently signed another goalkeeper this morning.
Haven't they got enough?
8 they've got now.
It's madness.
Madness.
It's so mad, it must be to a plan.
You never shone so brightly. Chimity's out, mate, for weeks. Had a foot operation the other day, so he can't play.
Shame.
So there you go. Right, we will be on
stuff.
More Than a Game about 2:05. Me and John will just refresh our drinks and stuff, and do all the little hidden Mickeys and all that we do for that. So get yourself over. We don't have to do anything. Ned will put the super highway magical link in.
How's your phone doing? You're not draining the battery not being on your phone all day.
We'll get a bit of digging around the John Texter stuff, and we'll address it in More Than a Game as well. So we will see you in 7 minutes. Don't go anywhere. If you haven't watched the Joe Parkinson interview yet, then are you really an Evertonian? Are you really a football fan? It's on Inside the Game. It's very, very good. Joe is.
It started well though, numbers wise, hasn't it?
It has. Yeah. He's excellent.
Yeah.
Right. See you in a minute. Beautiful people. Bye.